Coming up next, right here at the Grand Casino Event Center in Tunica, Mississippi, our marquee fight, the WBA Super Middleweight Championship between Big Banger Byron Mitchell and #1 contender Bruno Gerard of France. Well, when Mitchell won the title from Frankie Lyles, he knew that time was running out, and he had to come from behind to upset the longtime champion.
Well, it was kind of, I wouldn't call it desperation. It's just, you know, I knew I was behind on points. I knew I only had, 6 minutes left at this point. And I just say, this is it. I would be really upset if I lost this fight and didn't give it everything I had. I would be upset with myself. If I lost, by me giving everything I had, then so be it. I just lost. He was just better than me. But I knew I only had 6 minutes left, and I wanted to give it everything I had.
Well, the man Mitchell beat for the championship held the title for 5 years, and Frankie Lyles still struggled for recognition throughout his reign as champion. Byron Mitchell doesn't plan to wait that long. Back here with Mr. Ches here, was Byron Mitchell's victory over Frankie Lyles an aberration, or is he, does he truly represent the future at super middleweight?
Well, certainly I don't think it was an aberration. That day, Frankie Lyles did not have what it took strength-wise, youth-wise, power-wise, and style-wise to beat Mitchell. Mitchell had the keys to unload and unlock to solve the mystery of Frankie Mitchell, especially late. Early on, he had problems. As far as the future goes, as go the champions, go the future of the division. Right now, he's one of the champions in the division, so we'll have to see.
How about your keys to victory for both fighters tonight?
Sure, let's start with Mitchell. Both of these guys need to use that jab. Certainly Mitchell's more power jab, points as well, power shots to the inside, and a great straight hand right. Here you see Lyles tries to stab a jab out to get Mitchell's off him because Mitchell's applying the pressure. His counter left hook starts almost immediately, followed by the right hand, and Frankie Lyles is caught cold. And this is eventually the beginning of the end. There's the right hand, right after the hook. Frankie Lyles is all but out. That's what he needs, that big right hand. Here, Gerard facing us has to use a smart jab, but more for speed and points. Also good pressure, what I call follow-up pressure, and also a pretty good straight right hand. Both of these fighters tall. Here you're going to see him against the European challenger. Throws a jab that misses, but it's a pecking jab. A right hand that misses. But watch what happens after they mix it up. He catches him with a left hook that separates the distance between them. He misses both shots. They mix it up a little bit. Eventually, right here, he catches him with a hook. Now the two fighters start to separate. This is what I mean by fall pressure. There's the distance. He immediately closes the gap by stepping in with a right hand. And when he does, it's all but over.
All right, well, Byron Mitchell silenced the skeptics in his coming out party against Frankie Lyles back in June. Number one, he certainly showed that he can punch. Number two, he displayed a very good chin, and he satisfied those who questioned his conditioning. In addition, he didn't panic. Trailing on all three judges' scorecards, he registered 3 knockdowns in the 11th round to snatch the title away. The only wonder is why he waited so long to unleash his fury. And we take a look at Mr. Gerard, #1 WBA contender, the challenger Bruno Gerard, first world title shot. This is United States debut. He's fought almost exclusively in his native France. He's won 36 of his 39 fights, but as we mentioned earlier, only 5 knockouts. His 3 losses in 1993, 1994, and 1995. But since, he's 17-0 with 4 of his 5 knockouts. His biggest win over the Russian Andrei Shkalikov for the European title. And Ferdy, Gerard obviously not a knockout artist. Can he outbox Byron Mitchell and win by decision?
I don't think he can. One of the things that I find odd is this guy has fought a number of victories. I don't mean just 5 or 6. I mean almost 20 victories that are all 6-round victories. They just fight 6-round fights. Well, man, that's not a way to develop into a professional fighter that has to fight 12 rounds. So I question his durability. I question what he did. And he can't punch hard enough to beat anybody. Well, he's in with a guy who's a very good boxer, great puncher, and has stamina to go the whole time. He's in for the time of his life tonight.
Not a good time, you're saying?
Well, maybe not. Yeah. Maybe he'll surprise us. There are few surprises in boxing when a guy comes in with this kind of record.
All right, well, let's take a look at the guy who's got to face the newly crowned champion, Byron Mitchell. 2 years away from a degree in sports medicine and nutrition at Northern Michigan University. Answered his critics who felt he wasn't ready for the jump in competition. Going into the Laos fight, while Mitchell was rated #1, he had no recognizable names on his resume. The combined record of his opponents was 107 wins, 177 losses, 7 draws. He did come in with impressive knockout credentials, and Lyles was coming off a long 14-month layoff. So at the time, we wondered if Mitchell was an emerging young talent or was he an overprotected fighter stepping up in class. We're still not exactly certain. We do know, though, that he can punch. He's very exciting. Purdy, is he too strong for Bruno Gerard?
I think he is. I think it's style. I think it's strength. I think it's stamina. I think it's experience. I think it's all of those things wrapped into a package of a young man just finding himself, just getting comfortable with the title, and just seeing those beautiful, beautiful green fields of money ahead of him. I think Mitchell is on his way to being a good champion.
And now you get a nice look at the young man as he takes the hood down. Confidence, that's one of his biggest strengths. It's at an all-time high after coming from behind to register one of the top upsets of 1999 when he knocked off Frankie Lyles. Has awesome power with both hands from all angles. All right, let's size him up right now as we take a check of the tail of the tape. Mitchell is 3 years younger than Gerard. Height and reach, the key disparities. 3-inch height advantage for Gerard, 2.5-inch reach advantage. Both are under the 168 weight limit. And the major rules for this fight, unified rules, no standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th, it's a technical draw. If it happens after the end of round 4, they go to the scorecard. So here at the Grand Casino Event Center, Tunica, Mississippi, getting ready for our main event, the WBA Super Middleweight Championship. Byron Mitchell versus Bruno Gerard. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Grand Casino in Tunica, Mississippi for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and Showtime Championship Boxing, along with Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout coming your way is sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, the president, Gilberto Mendoza, supervisor, Jimmy Benz, along with the Mississippi State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Billy Lyons, commissioner in attendance, Fred Ingelis. Our physicians at ringside are Dr. Jerry Gentry and Dr. David Weber. Timekeeper at the bell, John Lyons Jr. Keeping count of the knockdowns, Fred Steinwinder Jr. Now introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Cartagena, Colombia, Uriel Arguilera. From Biloxi, Mississippi, Fred Steinwinder III. And from New York, we have Samuel Virouette. Introducing to you our referee in charge, the 3rd man in the ring, working in this his 21st world title bout, Elmo Adolph. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Grand Casino Tunica, it's time for the main event of the evening. It's showtime! 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Introducing you first, the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing green trunks with white trim, joining us all the way from Blois, France. He weighed in at a ready 166 pounds. His record stands at 36 wins, 3 losses with 5 knockouts. Here is the European Super Middleweight Champion and the current WBA #1 ranked contender, introducing Bruno Gerard. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks with gold trim, fighting out of and representing his home of Ozark, Alabama. He weighed in at 167 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with 20 wins, no losses, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is making the first defense of his title. Here is the defending WBA super middleweight champion of the world, known as the Hammer from Bama, the undefeated Byron Gator Mitchell. Once again, Elmo Adolf, our referee in charge, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled.
All right, centering, centering, centering. All right, gentlemen. The chief second over here. All right. We're all right. We're a little bit high over here, but we're all right. You know we're giving you instructions as far as all of the rules that we're going by. I want you to pay attention to my commands out here. If I tell you something about something that you're doing, don't do it again. Understand?
Understand.
Come in. Okay. Let's go. Shake hands, come out boxing.
All right.
Well, is this going to be batting practice for the power-hitting Byron Mitchell? 11 of his 16 knockouts have come in the first round, 14 of those 16 in 3 rounds or less on a 6-fight KO streak. And the feeling is Gerard, in order to win, if he hopes to win, he's got to take Mitchell deep. If Gerard manages to knock out Mitchell, it'd be quite a story. Only 5 of his 36 wins by knockout. None of his knockouts in round 1, none in 3 rounds or less. However, his last knockout in his last fight. So here we go. Gerard, a boxer in the truest sense, more of a defensive, tactical fighter, when Byron Mitchell just relies on that tremendous power.
Good sharp jab by Mitchell. Sharp, right between the gloves.
Power certainly could be one of the bigger differences in this fight. Also, I think the movement, the Americanization type of things that the Europeans haven't gotten to yet. Byron Mitchell, he's here, he's there, you swing, you miss, and all of a sudden you get hit from an angle you don't recognize. I think that's also going to be key.
They bend so much from American fighters bend and use the leverage that comes off the man. And the other guys fight like they got some kind of iron rod up their back. They don't bend over at all. They just stand there and take shots.
Perseverance also very important. A big strength for Byron Mitchell in the blue. And Mitchell comes out throwing bombs. Those are wicked shots, showing tremendous hand speed as well. Look how low he gets out of a deep crouch.
You see, the power is going to be big, too, because I believe Gerard's not going to be able to hold Mitchell off. When Mitchell comes in, even when he eats one, it's not going to hurt so much as to give him any concerns, and that's going to be really dangerous for Gerard.
As mentioned, 11 first-round KOs for Byron Mitchell. He looks like he's trying to make it 12 right now.
He seems to be overthrowing a little bit here early, especially with the right hand.
He's very over-anxious. He's got the crowd behind him. He's, you know, from Alabama.
Let's go break.
A lot of folks from those parts here.
Get out, get out.
And they're behind Byron Mitchell, the WBA super middleweight champion, 20-0 with 16 knockouts. Here's Gerard with a bit of a flurry, but those were blocked by the hands of Mitchell.
Yeah, those were useless punches, but he's got to get something in to show this guy he's here to fight. I mean,
let's go break. Step back, clean.
Mitchell with
back.
a crowd-pleasing style. One can never count this exciting youngster out. He was behind against Frankie Lyles and came back in furious fashion in the 11th round with 3 knockdowns.
You know, when you look at the types of these two guys, one guy looks like a fighter, he's got the body, and the other guy looks like a basketball player. I mean, look, he's tall and thin.
Here's the jab, followed up by the right, but the right missed by Mitchell.
Mitchell's missing a couple of big shots he doesn't have to, and a few good sharp counters back by Gerard. Not real powerful, but back.
Ooh. Windmilling by Byron Mitchell. And the right uppercut.
Is putting everything in those punches. If one of those things lands, that's going to be the end. I mean, he is throwing some very heavy leather. I don't think I've ever seen him throw anything that heavy in the first round.
Especially that often.
And Mitchell's got strong legs, too. He gets a lot of that power from the legs.
And, you know, I get the message Mitchell is not going to be here at the late rounds. He wants to leave now.
Right hand just missed by Byron.
All right, now listen to me. Work your jab and work his body. Don't forget his body. Work your jab and work the body. Everything behind the jab. Keep the jab working. Double up on it sometime and bang that body and back to the head. You hear me now? But work that jab. Don't forget the uppercuts when you're down low. You know what I mean?
Natalie, the lovely Natalie, will be our translator.
Ça va durer 2-3 rounds.
Okay.
It's going to be very fast for 2 or 3 rounds. You know that.
Écarté. Toujours couvert.
So you have to be with your hand very up.
Il faut pas que quand il te feinte, tu recules, il a des bras là. OK? Tu as 2-3 rounds à souffler. Te bats pas.
2 or 3 rounds.
Souffle bien. Rends le fou, baisse ta tête.
Marceau Lamel, a former policeman in the corner, the trainer for Bruno Gerard from France. And now we enter round 2. Good pace in round 1. Byron Mitchell certainly doesn't want to fall behind early as he did against Frankie Lyles.
Well, he's they've almost conceded the first 2 or 3 that have the French corner. They told him, just hold on for 2 or 3 rounds. Keep your hands up. Just hold on. We know he's going to be fast, but then he'll slow down in round 4 or 5. You know, in the meantime, this guy's got to absorb this kind of punishment.
To a great degree, I think, though, the corner's right. You can't match Mitchell's speed early. You can't match his power in any round. If he makes a miss, some of those big shots early, you can slow him down a little bit. And I think it's key that the Frenchman comes forward. If he's coming forward, Mitchell's at a little bit of a disadvantage being on the shorter end of the height reach here.
He's blocking all those left hooks, is Byron Mitchell.
Yeah, but Bruno's throwing him. I mean, the point is he's not just standing there taking shots. He's coming on himself.
Byron Mitchell coming in with a reputation of lacking defense, that he's quite hittable, tends to bide his time, looking to load up with one big shot. But a little more balanced out and even here in the first few rounds against Bruno Gerard. Of course, Gerard, more of a boxer, doesn't have the big knockout power.
I break, step back, break.
That Byron Mitchell has, although Louis Saccaris, the manager of Gerard, said he can win by decision, can also win by knockout. Started boxing at 11, never a knockout fighter, but has lots of experience. He's ready to make it any kind of fight. He's here not to fight as an amateur, but as a professional.
That's a nice uppercut. That's a nice jab. That's a nice hook. That's 3 good punches in a row.
But he's loading up on every one of them, Freddie. That's not the proper way to get it done.
Yeah.
And Stephen, his corner says stop getting one at a time, work him behind the jab and set it up, and that's correct.
He's bleeding from either the nose or, yeah, he's bleeding from the nose. I mean, those are hard shots, Bobby. I mean, those are any one of those can knock you out.
A lot of red around the
There's a
face
right hand.
of the Frenchman, Bruno Gerard. The result of those tough punches by Byron Mitchell. Blood all over his face now, Gerard. Very ugly sight. And pitter-patter punches that are having no effect on Mitchell.
Well, that's the danger of coming in when you're not a knockout puncher. I mean, like, you got a bucket, no water in it. What? How are you going to put out the fire?
But he's got heart.
Gerard actually spread the blood all over his own face by wiping his nose and touching his forehead.
That's how the blood got there, no question. Look at him going toe-to-toe. At least he's going.
He's hanging tough. He's trying to trade, which is probably a major mistake.
A very major mistake.
Oof. Big whiff there by Byron Mitchell. Well, if he connects with one of those, forget about it.
His nose is really bothering him.
Final 10 seconds of round 2. Gerard continues to bounce around, but a bloodied Bruno Gerard gets back to his corner. His mother can barely look. During the fight, she was looking away and could not stand the sight of her son's bloodied face.
I remember when my mom watched my fights, it bothered me more when she cried than when I got hit.
Yeah.
Not a good place for parents.
You got to pass a law, no parents until it's over with.
Mitchell's been unloading with some heavy shots. They were going to take a good shot at the right hand. He is firing their right hand. They're using a user jab. Beautiful right uppercut on the inside. That's probably what busted the nose open. Terrific shot. And we'll watch him again. He comes in behind the jab, doesn't land with the jab, but rips that uppercut right on the nose.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that's broken, because when it starts to pour blood like that, it means you've broken it. You popped it.
Byron Mitchell ready to begin round 3. Fires the jab. Let's see if he follows it up with the right.
That is bothering him. The nose is bothering him. See? He keeps pawing at it. It's not going to help. It's hurting and it's bleeding. Mitchell playing now.
The face immediately gets totally bloodied of Bruno Gerard. Blood coming from the nose. That's some target, huh, for Byron Mitchell.
Oh, that was a beautiful right uppercut. And I'll tell you what, if it landed a little more cleanly, we might have a short night.
Blood all over Mitchell's gloves, the result of Gerard's face.
Power, just such a big difference. The disparity in strength and power here is it's just huge.
Gerard trying to answer back with left hooks to the head, but just not enough.
See, Gerard cannot get any of Mitchell's respect, Stephen. If he doesn't get any of that respect, Mitchell's going to walk to him and do whatever he pleases.
And that's what he's done so far. You can't disrespect Gerard. He's trying hard, but he's just not in the same class as this guy. He hasn't got the power. He hasn't got the wherewithal to get the respect, as Bobby says, to keep him off. Get some respect so he just doesn't walk it in.
Gerard, former French champion, current European champion. Rated number 1 by the WBA, number 3 by the BC, number 5 by the IBF.
Well, you know, he's shown a pretty good chin. He's taken a few decent raps. He's come back. He's shown that he's not going to just quit. He's tried to fire back, but he just doesn't have the guns to keep Mitchell off.
He's courageous as we approach the final minute of round 3. They go to the body and then upstairs, but not phasing the champion. Mitchell has hardly broken a sweat. A little dance step.
Mitchell loafing away the last minute.
Taking some time off here with 40 seconds remaining in round 3.
He's eating a couple of jabs, but even that, the jabs are not stiff. They don't hurt. Another soft right hand on the temple.
Great right hand by Mitchell, but it fell short. Gerard able to duck away from that one.
Mitchell wants to finish big, take the round for sure. He's got it.
When a fighter can punch and has no fear of your punch, that's a very bad place to be in if you're the guy who is not being feared.
Gerard's got some defense, and then he tries to throw a combination at Mitchell. Gerard with a lot of will. The end of the third.
Ça mieux. Regarde que tu es mieux. Regarde comment il est mieux. C'est impeccable là. Donne-moi la serviette. Voilà. Tu sais comment tu es là, tu l'as rendu fou. Encore 1 ou 2 rounds comme ça. Et après il faudra mettre la vitesse supérieure. Pas d'erreur, pas debout. N'écarte pas.
Mogasset Gerard, who is the mom of Bruno. Look at the reaction. She just can't watch.
She shouldn't be here.
It's very disheartening. It's the last round. She made the trip over from France to watch her son and support her son, but it's very, very difficult for her to watch for obvious reasons.
My friends and I used to bet on which round my mom would get second or leave.
Really?
So it's just we understand that they get too emotional.
You live in an exotic world about betting in New Jersey. If you can get to betting on mothers leaving. Strange people.
The over-under.
The over-under and your mother leaving.
All right, here we go.
Just the guys in the dressing room.
I see. Well, let's see how many seconds it takes for that face to get bloodied again. What are the odds on that? Here goes Mitchell. Pouring it on, but missing with most of those shots.
Most of the shots are missing. 1 or 2 of them are landing, but he's really missing the majority of it. All he needs to really do is settle on his punches, sit down. When he goes back and looks at the tape, he'll see if he double jab, right hand to the body, left hook up, and left hook or uppercut underneath. He can make this a whole lot easier.
Very anxious, huh? A little too over-anxious right now?
Well, it's first title defense. He wants to be impressive. He has a guy, I believe in his mind, he knows can't hurt him. There's no concern with that. So he just wants to do whatever it is he's doing. And his mindset may be such that he just can't shift into that next gear.
You think at times he may be thinking to himself, you know what, I'm hitting him with everything I've got. This guy won't even go down.
I don't think so because he's hitting him one at a time. He just walked into a nice right hand.
Yeah. Back comes Gerard. Nailed him with a left hook. That was his best punch of the fight.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Referee Elmo Adolf in control, just talks to him in the back off. Two good fighters. They do what he says.
Those punches just don't have enough pop by Gerard.
He's got these long, tall, basketball player legs, and when he starts to move away, boy, you got to run after him to catch him to land a punch. And that's why he's been getting away from this one. Those big legs start moving back, you can't catch him.
I'll give him points for courage and will and heart and guts.
Put bleeding in there. A few points for a pint of blood as well. So,
yeah.
You know what? And right now he's trying to force the action, trying to make his presence felt by Mitchell, but just doesn't hit hard enough to give Mitchell concern. And right now, the lack of concern Mitchell has is actually hurting Mitchell because he's not doing what he needs to offensively.
He's disrespecting him. He's getting lazy. He's just saying, go ahead and hit me. It doesn't hurt. But he can blow around this way. Of course, he's way ahead. But
it's a much better round for Gerard. It's the best round he's had.
Because the other guy got lazy on him.
Look at the look of determination on Gerard's face. He doesn't want to be embarrassed. Mitchell continues to miss most of those shots. A much better round for the Frenchman Bruno Gerard, coming forward with some offense. Throwing combinations. Those last few punches were blocked by Mitchell.
Gerard may have stolen the round.
He did on mine.
Work.
He did on mine.
Come on, piece out of there. Get some air, get some air, get some air. Come on. Now listen. You're making it into a war, baby. Huh? Listen, don't be standing there waiting. Huh? Don't be standing there waiting. Get on and get out. You hear me now? Huh? Give me some, come on.
Gerard is trying to get back in it, and again, because Mitchell's loaded up and missed so many, he throws a right hand, a left hook, comes back, another right hand. Not all of them landed cleanly, but then Mitchell fires and comes up empty. So at least the sequence goes to Gerard, and there were a few times, as we look at it from the overhead, that Gerard is effective. There's a jab, a right hand, a hook, doesn't land real clean. Another right hand is grazing. Mitchell a lot less, and nothing lands at all. Gerard making a fight of it in that round. Now, if he could turn this round here around and win it cleanly, we have ourselves a fight.
Gerard showing a very good chin, aside from a terrific ticker.
He's very strong. He's a very strong guy. He's taking some great shots. He's got tough legs.
And there's just not enough behind the punch. That's all for Gerard.
If he could punch, this would be some fight.
And Mitchell knows it. He's in complete command. He's dancing around, just waiting for the moment. He just got Mitchell with a shot.
And another left hook, too. But again, they're not big shots. And even though they're not big shots, they're points.
Mitchell's being lazy. He's not putting it on. The other guy's giving 110%. The other guy's giving everything he's got, everything he knows.
He's doing what he almost did against Lyles. He told us that he hadn't been focused in the start of the Lyles fight. He seems to be losing some concentration, some focus. He fights in spurts.
Like he feels one punch is going to end this anyway. Wipe out.
And he sometimes needs a wake-up call, which he got. He got banged in the eye, and it really swelled up his eye against Lyles, and all of a sudden he had this sense of urgency, and he came alive. Maybe that's what he needs here.
I remember not the exact same corner per se, but Lucy carries in Kali Rahilu's corner talking about you got to let Frank Reyna burn himself out and then take over, and he went on to win that title. So who knows? They have a similar plan, but can Gerard do it?
That's another Louis Zacharias fighter. He's one of the most prominent manager-trainers in France. He's got Rahilu, Jean Mendy, Laurent Poutouani, and this guy, Bruno Gerard. He always has tough guys. They're not always the most skilled. They don't always have the greatest power, but they're tough.
Nice double left hook by Gerard. Again, not with the power that Mitchell displays, but a nice crisp combination.
And he's making things a little bit interesting here. He's standing in there. He's exchanging.
And he got staggered a little bit there. He got buckled.
He got shot back for his trouble. He started to come in. Whoops, they closed the door and slammed it right in his face. Now Mitchell's got it coming this way. Now Mitchell's got it coming this way.
The fans chanting Byron, getting behind him. A short, crisp right hook there by Mitchell, missing with the ensuing shots.
Mitchell missed 4 winging shots. He's not straightening his punches out. He's not taking them clean.
You ought to know better than that. You ought to know better than those 4 missed shots.
Gerard's got his rooting section off to our left. The folks from France, including his mom, has to be feeling a little bit better about things after those rounds in which he had a bloodied face.
Mitchell just joined the fight again. This round, he just joined it again. He left for a couple of rounds.
Yep. Keep him up, okay? Keep him up. All right, let's go.
Caution from Elmo Adolph to keep the punches up to Byron Mitchell. A little peppering by Bruno Gerard. Gerard with a cut. Bad cut along the side of the head.
Well, here we see they're in tight, but as they pull out, watch Gerard. He takes a nice little left hook up here. Then he comes back with a double left hook. Both of them hit Mitchell clean as they break, but he doesn't have Mitchell-type power. The first one comes right around, lands right on the inside, but in the second one, see, they're just too soft. Clean, but soft. And soft sometimes just doesn't get it done.
He's ducking underneath.
Effective for points, but he's not doing damage. He's not debilitating Mitchell. He's not causing him any severe pain, that's for sure.
Feel that? All right, stay busy. Work the jab from the outside. Stay down with the jab. Don't know. Stay busy.
Johnny Trawick in the corner. I was surprised when he didn't have his trainer, Jimmy Williams, from the title victory fight. He changed trainers to Johnny Trawick. There have been no knockdowns thus far in the fight, which is a testament to the heart and chin and guts of the Frenchman in green, Bruno Gerard, because he's taken a lot of heat. For all the punches Bruno Gerard has taken, his eyes still look clear, and he's still throwing punches.
Yeah, no, the bloody nose is not a big deal. It's red and it looks ugly, but it's not a real big deal. He does not look that bad. He's just having a problem with that runny, bloody nose.
Aesthetically, not looking so hot with all the blood. But he continues to press forward. If he had more power, straight right hand right on the head of Byron Mitchell. Mitchell had to feel that a little bit.
Yeah, but see, as he presses forward, is the only time that he capitalizes when Mitchell drops his hands and misses. He can't do it going backwards. He's not a big puncher coming forward as it is. Going backwards, he's almost like a paperweight.
Mitchell has to press. When he presses him, he's taking his fight completely.
Mitchell just takes off too much time.
He lacks focus, concentration.
Look at this flurry by Gerard. Again, weren't powerful punches, but they got in there. And he's looking to steal another round.
Well, you know what? He's chasing Mitchell around right now. Mitchell's not being very effective while he's moving.
Mitchell flashes the jab, doesn't follow it up with a right.
Well, they told him to jab in the corner. He's doing that. He's jabbing. He's doing, but he's got to follow with the right hand.
Let's go. Break it clean. Step back. Step back. Break.
Maybe Mitchell in his head says, I can turn it on whenever I want. But that's not a good philosophy.
Well, I guarantee if you say that to your trainer, he'll say, then why don't you turn it on?
Yeah. No, nobody says hang around until let's see what the decision's going to be. Everybody says, if you can do it, do it. Get out of here.
Very difficult to go through life as a fighter just looking for that one big shot. Loading up. And it seems like that also may be in the mind of Mitchell. Mitchell's eating some leather here.
Some nice clean shots, and Mitchell's head turning a lot more than it was before. As you get a little tired, that fatigue will make a coward of you, as Vince Lombardi once told us. Here's another 3-4 punch combination. Beautiful right uppercut, but just one and done for Mitchell.
Bruno Gerard is winning this round. Final 10 seconds. Great finish by Gerard.
He's outworking Mitchell. He's outworking him for the round.
Boy, they've got to be a lot happier in that Bruno Gerard corner now after that 6th round. We've got Natalie translating for Bruno Gerard And the corner.
Sit down, Bruno.
C'est toi qui domine. Alors il faut plus être loin, il faut plus sauter.
You see what I said to you? 3-4 rounds. Now you are okay. You remember what I said to you at the gym?
Bien sûr que c'est dur quand tu restes.
I told you.
Tu restes collé et tu lui fais des séries
You
comme
have to
ça.
follow like you are doing.
Tu risques de gagner avant la limite. Souffle avec la bouche. Voilà.
There's a nice overhead look at what's going on the inside. Gerard on the inside, not a real big puncher again, but there's right hand, left hook, another right hand, another left, and he's landing punches as he stuffs Byron Mitchell. He throws another 1, 2, 3, and he lands 2 of the 3. That is scoring, not big, but scoring.
Well, let's see what kind of reaction Byron Mitchell has as we begin the 7th round. This is scheduled for 12 for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship. Mitchell just being too laid back, not focused, too cautious here. We had many opportunities to take Gerard out and did not. Well, through 6, midway point, they've got Mitchell ahead 4-2. You guys?
4-2.
I have it 4-2. I gave the 4th and 6th rounds to Gerard, and he's starting out this round well.
The fans, well, they gave Gerard 4 and 6 too. A much more confident Frenchman, Bruno Gerard, now coming forward, continues to come forward.
No. Just fight. Don't try. Let's go. Break it.
Now they tie each other up.
See, on the inside, Byron Mitchell should be working. He's a slightly shorter reach, a little better leverage to the ground on the inside. Work the inside.
Well, there's always a chance that Mitchell came in underestimating Bruno Gerard when he looked at his record. And he's reacting that way in this fight.
I think he fought a little too hard, a little too early, missed some big shots, loaded up with too many shots, and now he's paying the price for it a little bit.
The Frenchman just lost his mouthpiece. Gerard just dropped his mouthpiece.
Elmo Adolph picks it up.
A tremendous shot. Time, says Elmo Adolph.
You know what's interesting? Mitchell told us, he said, you know, I've heard Gerard studied 7 fights of mine. In none of those tapes did he see my jab. Well, we're not seeing much of Mitchell's jab here either. He thought that would be like his secret weapon, and it's not happening. And Mitchell does have a powerful jab.
They both have good jabs. Gerard's, again, more for setting punches up and getting a little bit of points. But Mitchell can stuff your jab and hurt you, and he's not doing it.
Here comes Gerard again.
All right, let's go. Get out.
And fatigue starting to set in for both guys.
More for Mitchell. Mitchell's looking more weary and more like, oh, this is no fun anymore.
It's extremely warm in here. We're in the Grand Casino Event Center in Tunica, Mississippi.
You won too, Steve. I'm hot.
Yeah, I'm being diplomatic. It's really, really hot now.
Under these TV lights, you can imagine what this is like.
There's, again, 2 big shots by Mitchell that he missed, and he doesn't need to do that. Takes the same energy to stop a big shot that you miss, and he got counted on 4 or 5 times, 6, 7 times by Gerard.
Gerard continues to pepper Byron Mitchell in the head.
He's outworking him.
Left hook to the jaw by Gerard. He's going to win another round.
Mitchell looking weary. Incredible as it may seem.
Gerard is getting close to evening up this fight, and there's a lot of time to go. We're only in the end of the 7th.
You know, early in the round, Mitchell took a lot of the early rounds, so it's a very close round.
Well, if you give that one to Gerard, it's 4-3, Mitchell.
All right, let's get back to boxing. I want you to work that jab, work that jab. Don't get away from the jab. Stay back down with the jab. These sides, you can hit it with that jab. And then on the inside, bang his body with combinations back to his head. Yeah, but he ain't tying you up sometimes because you're getting off on him good. You're getting off on him good. So I'm saying, just keep working. Keep working. Keep working. When you bang that body with when you bang that body with a combination, step around. Bam, 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 step around. Don't be right there in the middle for him to counter you. Bam, 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 step around. That's on the inside. On the outside, stay down with the jab. That's the key, and everything work behind the jab. See what I'm saying? You can hit him with a left hook, too, whenever you're ready. More left hooks at you, all right?
Johnny Trawick in the corner of Byron Mitchell, Bobby.
I'll tell you what, he said, Byron Mitchell said to Johnny, he said, I'm tired, man, I'm tired. He said, I know you're tired, but he's tired too. That's not something you want to hear as a trainer when the man comes back to the corner.
Not enough of a sense of urgency, too.
And in the other corner, they look like they just celebrating VE Day. They say, we got us fight. We just keep the pressure up. The guy is folding.
Until Frankie Lyles, Mitchell had never gone past 8 rounds. Well, we're now into round 8.
And he talked about it very candidly. He said, I was very frustrated by the fact that I was nervous, that I might not be able to go to distance well. I was holding punches. It was on my mind. It had me crazy. Now I'm comfortable. I knocked Frankie out in 11, but he doesn't look comfortable.
Seems like he's reverted. This is only the 3rd time in his career that he's gone past 8. This is his 21st pro fight.
He's got to quit trying to one-shot him and fight him. He's got to sit here and out-punch him, and he's not doing that.
Well, the problem
he's waiting
is
that one punch.
He has a fatigue problem. As we heard in the corner, he said, I'm tired, man, I'm tired. When you start out punching, he doesn't go down, you're dead.
Well, that's a fact. We said earlier he may have underestimated Bruno Gerard, may have thought that his overwhelming power could be the answer, but it is not right as of yet. And now exhaustion is setting in.
Now you fight a guy that just fought 6-round fights and has no knockouts. I mean, you have to get a little, I mean, come on, overconfident.
He's been 10 rounds a couple of times. We're talking about Bruno Gerard.
10 rounds once, 12 rounds once. That's it. Not a lot to draw on from strength.
But he looks the stronger of the two and the better conditioned of the two, Bruno Gerard.
And the more active he's making the fight, he's carrying the fight, he's doing the punching. All right, they're not hard punches, all right, most of them not landing, but he's doing the fight. The other guy's just sitting back waiting for that one shot. These are points he's building up, Dylan. These are points.
And he is the effective aggressor. One of the biggest keys for judging a fight, the effective aggressor. Look at that, 3 more punches on the chin. Not big shots, but shots.
As we know, very difficult to take the title away from a champion, but after this round, he could be even with Byron Mitchell.
He keeps this up. This round is his, and now they're even.
Well, I had the last round of draw because Mitchell dominated early, but it looked like a bit of the last hurrah because I don't see any more fluid flurries in Mitchell's repertoire. He just doesn't seem to have them now.
When was the last time he really threw an effective punch? Maybe rounds ago. And it's been all Bruno Gerard. Not saying that his power is anything great, but he's more active.
It's not power, it's desire, it's determination. Look at that. Look at that.
And conditioning.
And conditioning. It's what makes one man better than another on a given night.
Gerard smothering the champion at the end of the round.
Another one in the back for Gerard.
So this fight could be even, and Mother Gerard has to be feeling a lot better about things.
She just ordered a croissant with cheese and ham. She must be feeling good.
Well, she's trying not to look, but she has to be hearing from the reaction that her son's doing better. Natalie, take it away.
Luis is telling him to follow like he was doing at the gym, not to be anxious, to follow like he was doing in the before round.
Si te frappe, ne carte pas. Regardez, il a pris dans les mains. D'accord? Et champion du monde, Bruno, tu peux être.
Each round, you can become a champ.
Il faut pas laisser respirer.
You cannot let him breathe.
Allez, Bruno, le premier, allez.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing. And now let's see if... Oh, she can't look. She just can't look. Bruno Gerard's mother flying in from France along with a contingent of people. You can hear them chanting and singing in the background.
You know, when my brothers fought in the amateurs and I was there to root them on, it was harder to watch them than do the actual fight.
Absolutely.
The heart, you die 1,000 little tiny deaths.
Yep. So tough on family and friends. All right, Gerard once again coming forward. We begin round 9. What a comeback by Bruno Gerard, but Byron Mitchell, his own worst enemy, is just letting up too much.
You know, it's a shame to say this, but this was an easy fight if you draw it up based on the skills I know Mitchell has, the power he has.
That comes Mitchell here for a moment, Bobby.
Good 4 clean shots. He hurt Gerard pretty good.
All of a sudden, he gets a wake-up call.
The adrenaline flows.
Gerard continues to handcuff, comes in. Mitchell tries an uppercut. More active here by Byron Mitchell, maybe getting a second win all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think he got the message in the corner and a second win. He's loafed through the last 3 or 4. He can put together a good round and get back on the road here.
And I watched the tapes of Gerard. I know Mitchell. I watched tapes of Mitchell, plus I've watched him fight in person. This was a whole lot easier fight than he let it be. He made it be a difficult fight. And I'll tell you what, he may pay dearly for it with his title.
I don't think there's any question he took the French challenger too lightly. Plus lack of focus and conditioning.
Good body shot right there by Mitchell.
Mitchell's been hammering body shots. He just stops fighting, like right here. He just stops. He's done enough, now he's got to rest a while.
Continues to fight in spurts. There's that jab we heard about. Powerful jab, but he's not doing it often enough. And then Gerard comes in and smothers it.
And those body shots are building up points for him. They're hard.
Now he's upset. He looks over. Referee Elmo Adolph does Mitchell. He felt he was being headbutted.
And held. No, he was being held by one hand and punched him. There you go.
There's the overhand right by Mitchell, but what an answer. A combination by Gerard.
Gerard comes back with 3 punches, then Mitchell with just 1. See, there's 3 or 4 to Mitchell's 1. He makes Mitch with a big loaded up left hook. Mitchell's got to throw clean cut-off punches. And by cut-off, I mean that when he misses, he cuts it off in midair. He doesn't just swing through it and make himself more tired.
And while these punches by Gerard aren't that heavy, you have to wonder about the accumulative effect. They could be getting to Mitchell. And there's the bell to end round 9. Yeah. How do you score that one?
I'd score it for Mitchell. He landed the harder punches to the body, and he took the whole first part of the round.
You got to stay busy. We got to get this guy out of there. Okay? You got to stay busy. Don't let him outwork you. You outwork him. You outwork him. Be busy. Be busy in there. See what I'm saying? Ooh. Be busy. Be busy. Jab, jab. Inside, bang that body, and look for that uppercut inside. He's open for it. And throw it on the outside. I want each knee. I want the 1-2. You hit him with a beautiful 1-2 combination. Let's try that some more. All right. Right hand behind the left jab. And 1-2. Each knee. Try that. Sometimes triple up on it. Each knee. See what I'm saying? Right hand behind the jab. The jab sets it up. Okay. From the outside, inside, bang that body back to the head. Mouthpiece.
Well, to borrow the title of a program on Showtime, this is a rude awakening for Byron Mitchell. The unknown Bruno Gerard is now giving Byron Mitchell a lot of trouble. I'm sure the champ thought that, his victory over Frankie Lyles could propel him into the upper echelon of the super middleweight fighters.
Especially take a fighter who doesn't have a punch.
Beautiful body shot by Mitchell, but he got caught with 3 shots to the chin. There's a right hand, a left hook, 2 body shots. Gerard is just going for broke here. He's using heart and the will to win, to try and will the title away from Byron Mitchell.
How do you think this performance by Mitchell would have stacked up against a Frankie Lyles?
He never beats Frankie Lyles in fights like this. First of all, he wouldn't have had the energy to go through the end, and he wouldn't have been able to absorb. Frankie Lyles hits a lot harder than Gerard.
Mitchell is trying real hard now. He's a lot more active. He almost slipped with a punch.
But at least he was throwing a bunch of punches at the time, which is what he hasn't been doing, what they want him to do.
There's that stiff jab by Mitchell.
Let's go. No.
Mitchell's obviously tired, fatigued. He even said so a couple of rounds ago. In the corner, it was trainer Johnny Trewitt. But look how active. I mean, this Frenchman's like an octopus. He's all over Mitchell.
He'll just keep throwing, Steve. That's one of the things that European fighters do, is they get in great shape and they make sure that punches are being thrown. Can't win if you're not punching.
If only he had some power. He's only got 5 knockouts in 39 fights.
At this level, you can be pretty sure he's not going to stop too many guys with that lack of power.
This is a tough round to score. The Frenchman's come back real hard and continue. Oh, look at them. Oh.
Yeah, an overhand right there by Byron Mitchell, but
the guy comes back with 16 slapping punches.
Yep, here comes Gerard again. There goes a mouthpiece. Whose is it?
I think it's Gerard.
And I think it's Mitchell's.
This could be right.
I think it's the referee.
Punches up. Keep your punches up. Let's go. All right, let's break it. Bang! Bang!
Gerard perfect. Right, Bob.
Cannot breathe through his nose. A lot of through his mouth. The mouthpiece gets hit when your mouth is open with an uppercut. That mouthpiece will
Down it went. So they clean it off. They throw it back in, and we resume.
But that was a battle that was going on there of trading punches. They were giving and throwing equally.
Here's Gerard doing some running, something we haven't seen for quite a while.
Let's go. Let him go. Let him go, Byron. Let him go, Byron. Let's go. Let's go. Break it.
Final seconds of round 10. Not many people thought we'd be this deep into the fight, particularly Byron Mitchell.
And me.
Yes.
I didn't think we'd go this far, I must admit.
Bruno Gerard had other ideas. Gerard again opens up here at the end of the round. Mitchell missing repeatedly. We'll have Natalie step in here and do our translating in the French corner.
Sit down, Bruno. You are going to be world champ, man.
Okay?
You have to win 11 and 12.
Short and sweet.
Mitchell likes to whip his punches in. Watch this whipping overhand right. He turns on it, whips it in. Right on the ear and the temple. But here comes the Frenchman. One punch, doesn't land back, and he threw a few more. And a little while later, as we're talking about, while his mouth is open, he gets hit on the inside. I'm not sure where the uppercut comes in. Oh, he just spits it out. Clearly not a punch, but he was throwing punches and landing. Maybe he just needs to breathe.
I think what you said was right. He can't breathe through his nose. The mouthpiece is in the way. He needs his breath. He spits it out. We are in the championship causeway, gentlemen. 11 and 12. This fight's up for grabs.
And Byron Mitchell, the champion, has simply let the challenger, light-hitting Bruno Gerard, back into this fight.
You know, it wasn't about skill and it wasn't about power. It was about conditioning and guts.
Yep.
Will to win.
And Byron Mitchell finding out the hard way. This will be certainly a learning experience. If he can hold on and win, he could chalk it up as a learning experience and hopefully take something from this.
Very difficult way to learn the lesson, though.
Sure is. Yep. Especially if you lose.
And let's not forget to remind our audience that that's our opinion. There are 3 judges here that may have clearly a different opinion.
Years ago, Hugo Carr was outboxing Vito at the firm and just ran out of gas, and he just outbanged him.
Well, the folks at home are seeing it for Bruno Gerard. How do you like that after 10 rounds?
I have it dead even, so they could well be right.
I have a 1 point for Mitchell, 5-4, and 1 even.
Break it. Break.
These are critical rounds, these last 2.
The championship round, so here's where it counts.
Let's see what happens from this point on.
This is a test of character.
Gerard chasing Mitchell around. Continues to be on the offense.
Let's go, let's go, let's punch. Get in there, punch.
This kid from France is in tremendous shape.
See, there's just 3 little shots on the inside. Here Mitchell tries to come back, but before it's just been 1 or 2 and done. A lot of those big ones that Mitchell was throwing and missing.
Come up to the final minute of round 11.
Oh, that's a hard hook.
Byron Mitchell had some round 11 magic in his title victory over Frankie Lyles. He may need some here.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's throwing some bigger shots again here in the 11th round. Much better in the last couple of rounds.
And landing them.
But not as many as he may need to continue winning the round.
He knocked down Lyles 3 times to stop the fight, and the last one in the 11th round. There's that whipping right hand that you described earlier by Mitchell, but having not much effect.
And here's another whipping right hand that clearly missed. Little punches and combinations on the inside. Gerard refusing to go away quietly.
He just stands right in there and trades with Mitchell. The pesky Bruno Gerard. Look how active Gerard is. Look how many punches he throws.
He lost the round right there. That's where Mitchell took it.
The end of the 11th.
Wow. What a fight.
Right at the end of the round, you can see a bad cut by the right eye of Gerard. Was that the left eye? Left eye.
Left eye. I think they banged heads on that early inside.
Yes.
That's a long gash.
Attention pour serrer les gants, tu peux en mettre une. Attention, hein. Il reste 3 minutes pour changer.
On the inside, there's no quitting the Frenchman. He fires right back. There's a nice right hand. He got caught. Staggers him back. He comes right back with 4 or 5 more combinations. Stumbles back again. Here comes Mitchell in to try and do something with that move, but the Frenchman is going nowhere. Here from the overhead. I think they bang heads in here somewhere.
Yep.
And right as he goes back, Bobby.
Right here you'll see there's a nice right hand.
Now watch this.
There's the head.
There.
Right there.
Well, here we go. 12th and final round. They touch gloves. Could be very difficult for Gerard to come down here to the Mississippi Delta and bring a decision back to France. Let's see how it works out.
It's all up in Mitchell's hands. If Mitchell wants to press the attack here, he can keep his title. If not, he can lose it.
Gerard once again opens up, pouring it on, just peppering the head of Byron Mitchell to begin the 12th round. No knockdowns.
Right now it's just about,
Gerard with a big right and then follows it with a left hand.
Best punch of the night for Gerard. That was a good right hand. Got a lot of flesh with that one. He stood his ground. Another right hand left hook.
Look at the will of this Frenchman. Just stands right in there.
Byron Mitchell's firing back right now, mostly arm punches.
It's going to take an awful lot to put Gerard down.
Let's go, back up. Let's go, break it.
I mean, he's punching from memory as Mitchell. Those aren't even hard punches anymore. He's like exhausted, but I got to do this. He's got to do it or else he's going to lose this round.
The Frenchman, bloodied, just doesn't give up.
Key here for Mitchell is to keep pushing forward. If he goes backwards, he's in trouble. Beautiful left uppercut there. The Frenchman still outworking Mitchell. Mitchell still landing harder shots.
Gerard continues to throw more punches than the champion. They're just not hard enough.
And then all of a sudden, neither are Mitchell's. Mitchell's not throwing those hard punches anymore. He's throwing the same kind of powder power. He's got to get back on.
Mitchell exhausted, but a good right uppercut by Mitchell to the chin.
Mitchell's got to suck it up. It's right now. It's right now where this title's on the line.
There's another 3-punch, 4-punch combination. Coming back with 2 or 3 more punches by the Frenchman. These little flurries, when you're this tired, are so big.
Just rattling Mitchell's head back and forth, side to side. 50 seconds left. Could Gerard win this fight on points and take the title back to France?
He's outgutting Mitchell. He's outgutting him. There's no two ways about it. He wants to win much more. He's got the will to win.
What a tremendous effort by the Frenchman. Tremendous heart.
A colossal performance from a guy that wasn't supposed to even give a good
Frenchman's winning the last round, and this is all Mitchell's fault. I think early in the fight, his mindset and his strategy.
This guy's already won it in his head.
I don't know if he's won the fight.
Final 10 seconds. And he wants to end it with a flourish, Gerard. Well, we don't know what's going on in the heads of the judges or how they scored this. Well, there's Gerard's mom. But Bruno Gerard may have won this fight on points.
He certainly won it in the hearts of the audience. I had to draw point by point, but if I wasn't keeping score and I was just sitting in the audience, I think the Frenchman won.
I'll
I'm keeping it round by round. I can't help it. It's a draw.
This is one of those very few fights where I'd say to you a draw is not a bad decision. I thought some of the really big bombs early and halfway through the fight gave a slight edge to Gerard. I had 1 round even, and I gave Gerard the fight by I gave Mitchell the fight by 1 point. When we get back to revisiting the keys and early on, Gerard used his jab the way he was supposed to, jabs, points, quickness, and getting inside. Mitchell did not. He didn't use it for points. He didn't use it for power. He went to winging big shots. Straight right hand, he didn't use it. He whipped it and looped it. And to step up on the inside and work the body, he did none of those things. He really didn't. Gerard did what he was supposed to do. He kept the pressure on, and then he did the repressure. Pressure on pressure. Step back in. It was key for Gerard that probably Mitchell didn't train well, because I still think Mitchell had the ability to outgun him and outgut him all the way across.
Let me give you the judges' names. They are Fred Steinweiner III from Biloxi, Mississippi, Uriel Aguilera from Colombia, Samuel Virouette from New York.
Mitchell did not do what he was supposed to. He didn't set the big shots up. He didn't take his time. He didn't work in behind the jab and set up the big combinations. He just looked to lead with big bombing shots and take his man out. He really didn't stick to the game plan that he was supposed to use. What I thought, he can't be disappointed even if he wins here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's almost a shame that they don't have a French judge also. I mean, you know, hey, let's face it, this guy's got 2 American judges and 1 Colombian judge. Ain't fair. I mean, you know, 1 from one side and 1 from the other, because you tend to become nationalistic when it gets too close.
Well, Gerard and his mom await the decision. Gerard's first fight in the United States, his first world title shot. Even if he loses, his stock goes up.
What an unlikely looking fighter, and what a gutty, great performance he gave tonight.
Really.
Nice fight.
We're waiting a long time for this decision. As they add up the points, momentarily we'll throw it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. to get the word. Anxious moments here for both fighters and the crowd. Very quiet here all of a sudden, almost completely silent as they await the decision.
It's one of these fights where almost, just a second, Bobby, I just wish it's a draw. I hope so.
Could be.
I don't want to go home and lose any sleep tonight over it.
It could be a draw.
This would be one of the few where a draw wouldn't bother me at all.
At all.
I'd almost prefer it.
Well, I got it a draw dead.
Well, if it is, of course, Mitchell retains the title. Well, it's nervous time here in Tunica, Mississippi, as we await the decision. He was tough. He was tough.
Gotta give him credit.
Very anxious there. It's got to be, obviously it's very close, because it seems like they're double checking and triple checking the scores. That's why it's taking so long.
That's what we have.
Byron Mitchell, after a bleak start, Gerard, after a bleak start, came on very strong. The fans at home think he won it. Jimmy Lennon Jr. Scurrying, trying to get the scorecards there in that little crowd in the ring. There's Don King, the promoter of these fights here tonight.
You know, some of those rounds are really so close that imagine it, 1 round switched from A to B.
Let's go.
Jimmy's ready.
Swing.
Jimmy's ready.
Or is he?
Or is he? So we're just about set to finally get the word. And let's throw it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards with a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Uriel Aguilera scores about 115 to 113 in favor of Gerard. Judge at ringside, Sam Virouette scores about 116 to 114 in favor of Byron Mitchell. Judge at ringside, Fred Steinweiner III scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a split draw, and the champion retains his title.
A split draw.
I'm almost happy.
Maybe we prayed too much. I mean, we got what we prayed for. A split draw. At least they go home thinking, well, one judge thought we won it 115 out of 13.
That was Uriel Aguilera from Colombia. He had Gerard up 115, 113. Virouette had it 116, 114. Mitchell and Steinweiner had it a draw 114. And Mitchell retains the title on a draw, but does it the hard way. Not exactly what he had in mind here tonight. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much. Byron, do you feel as though you were worthy of a draw tonight?
Well, he was tougher than I expected. I can't take anything away from the guy, anything away from him. He's a great #1 contender. He's a great contender, and he's going to have a future, but not tonight.
Did you take him too lightly? Were you totally focused?
I think I was relying on my power a little too much in cases. He kept me off balance a few times there, and I couldn't get off like I would have liked to. But you know, like I say, you gotta come in, and you have to come into the champ hometown, and you have to convincingly beat him.
Well, enough about convincingly. Your assessment was that you won this fight, or that this fight was a draw?
You know,
you think you won?
The judge's decision is the judge's decision. You know, whether I feel like I won or not. If I think it was a shutout, you know, whether I think, you know, it was a great call. You know, I have to respect the judge's decision.
It seemed as though after the third round that he took control of this fight. You had control early, then it seemed as though he just had you going backwards the rest of the time.
No, I wouldn't say that, but he did keep me off balance, because after I had him, I felt like I had him hurt a couple times, and I was trying to get him out of there, and I was loading up too much instead of, you know, just working my sharp shots like I worked on.
Instead of looking forward, you had hoped maybe to chase Roy Jones or move on from this, fight one of the two Germans. Now what? Would you like to fight him again?
If Don King's calls for it, you know, I'm down with DK. You know,
all right, let's bring in Gerard for his assessment. Gerard, if we can get some help from Natalie. Gerard, Bruno. Do you feel as though you won the fight? Natalie will translate.
Est-ce que tu penses que tu as gagné ce combat?
Il n'y a aucun problème. Je suis sûr d'avoir gagné ce match. C'est un scandale. Je suis venu aux États-Unis, j'ai pas eu peur. Je suis un Français qui va aux États-Unis, ça fait plus peur. Et je suis venu pour gagner.
I'm a French fighter. I come here because I trust everybody here, but it's a scandal because I win that fight.
You thought you won the fight outright?
Est-ce que tu penses que la décision n'est pas bonne?
Tout à fait, c'est même sûr et certain. J'ai gagné, c'est sûr et certain.
For him, he won that fight and he won easy by 8 rounds to 4 maybe, but he won.
If you fought him in France, do you feel as though you would have received the decision?
Est-ce que si tu avais fait ce même combat en France ou en Europe, tu penses que tu aurais eu la décision ce soir?
C'est certain, on a vu qu'il y avait eu un petit problème au niveau des juges, au niveau de ramasser les bulletins. C'est bizarre, c'est tout, les bulletins sont longs à ramasser. Il y a eu un petit problème, c'est plus que bizarre. En France, il n'y aurait pas eu de problème, j'aurais gagné logiquement puisque j'ai gagné, donc il n'y aurait eu aucun problème.
For sure, if that fight was in France or in Europe, I'm sure I will have the decision. I can see that during the fight, so it was very slow. For the decision, it was very slow, so I don't know, but for sure, I want that fight in France.
And what are your plans now?
Quels sont tes projets maintenant?
C'est facile de dire en revanche, alors je me suis fait voler. Mais bon, il n'y a qu'à venir en France, on verra.
Well, it's easy to speak about a rematch, you know, but I don't want to speak about a rematch because I won that fight. So maybe I can invite Byron Mitchell to come in France and to make a defense of his title in France.
Finally, you can tell your mom the fight's over. She can watch now. She wasn't able to watch you tonight.
Ils ont vu que ta maman, pendant tout le combat, elle n'a pas regardé le combat, donc ils voulaient dire que maintenant ta maman, elle peut te regarder. Et que...
Ouais, mais elle est déçue, j'ai perdu.
Well, she's very disappointed because she thinks that her son won that fight.
Well, she really didn't see it, but I'm sure that's how she feels. Thank you. Congratulations to you on a great fight. Steve?
Jim, thank you very much. Let's take a look once again at the official scorecards. There you have it. Oriel Aguilera from Colombia had a 115-113 for the Frenchman Gerard. Fred Steinwinder III from Biloxi, Mississippi had it a draw, 114-114. Samuel Virouette from New York City had it Mitchell, 116-114. As far as the folks at home, the online scoring, we'll take a check of that. Should be interesting. And they had Gerard, the Frenchman, winning it 7-5. So I'm sure Bruno would be very happy to see that. Ooh, what a close one. Coming up next, We've got same-day coverage of the WBO Heavyweight Championship from Hamburg, Germany. The 6'8" Vitaly Klitschko will be defending against number 8 contender and ex-Marine Obed Sullivan. Klitschko seen here after he beat Herbie Hyde for the title. The former European heavyweight champ has created a stir with his aggressive style, awesome punching power. We'll see him in action up next. And right now we're set for another throw to our Jim Gray in the ring. Let's go to Jim.
All right, thank you very much. As usual, at the end of the fights, we are joined, even though we have one more fight tonight here on Showtime, we're joined by Don King. Your assessment of that last fight, who in your opinion won?
I thought it was a good fight, you know what I mean? The judges called it a draw. I will accept that. I think that is the most important thing, I think, tonight is to wish all the fans on Showtime very happy New Year and a Merry Christmas, you know, happy holidays. And I would like to thank the Showtime staff, Mark Greenberg, Matt Blank, Jay Larkin, and Roy Langboard. You know what I mean? It's been a glorious year. I'm just so very, very happy, Jim. And I'm just very grateful that we had great fights tonight. Both fights were great fights. And as usual, undeniable, Showtime and Don King is unbeatable. So it's just really, what can I say after a fantastic evening of boxing like this?
All right, Don, no commitment as usual. What about Ruiz now? Will he fight Michael Grant in a box-off and then on to Lennox Lewis?
Well, you know, Ruiz is ready to fight Michael Grant and anybody else. I think John Ruiz is one of the best heavyweights in the world and will soon become heavyweight champion of the world. And so he's just looking to fight. If we can work out the terms and things is right, certainly he'll fight Michael Grant in an eyelash in a second. So it's just one of those things, but to see how we can make it happen.
But the mandatory is going to be Henry Akinwande. Akinwande and Lewis danced all night. Really, nobody wants to see that again. Correct?
Well, you have to go with the rules. It's not but what nobody wants to see. I think it'll be a terrific fight. I think Akinwande is one of the better fighters in the world, and sometimes things happen. As you know, this is boxing, and boxing is unpredictable. That's what makes it so exciting, because no one can really say what's going to happen when two heavyweights get in the center of the ring. So I'm looking forward to that. If they don't fight Akinwande, then we know the rules and regulations say he must vacate the WBA title. So it's up to him. It's his choice. You know, he signed that he was a mandatory challenger. He must live up to what he signed and follow the rules and regulations, just as we do at Showtime and Don King.
Let me ask you about Evander Holyfield. No commitment from him as to whether or not he will continue his career. What are your plans? What do you know of Evander Holyfield's plans?
Evander Holyfield will continue boxing. He's a great champion. I thought he put up a terrific performance in the last outing. Again, I won't question what the judge's decision is, but many people and many fans thought that he had won the fight, just as they thought that Lennox Lewis had won it in March 13th.
Might we see a third fight with Lewis, and might we see a third fight with Mike Tyson? I know you're not involved on Tyson's end, but could you foresee that?
Well, I'm certainly involved on Holyfield's end, and you certainly can't have a Holyfield-Tyson without Holyfield. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm always be there, because Evander is one of the greatest champions that I ever had the opportunity to represent. I love the man. I think he's a stand-up man. He's a Christian. He believes in the Lord, same as I do. And so I'm looking forward to great excitement in the next year, in the new millennium, with Evander Holyfield and Tito Trinidad, the greatest welterweight in the world today. And we're looking for a lot of excitement. And you look out for this kid, Randall Bailey. He's a shocking puncher on the move.
You mentioned Felix Trinidad. He had a date March the 4th with Reed. Will that come off? It seems as though that is now in jeopardy. And will we then see Trinidad de la Hoya rematch?
We're going to have a meeting next week in regards to Trinidad and what's going to happen with Trinidad. As you know, he had signed to fight David Reed. However, HBO come up with a claim that they have some rights on Reed. That has got to be settled between the promoter Dan Goosen and HBO. I have nothing to do with that. However, Trinidad is ready, willing, and able to fight anybody. He's going to follow the rules and regulations of the WBC, and he will fight his mandatory against Daryl Coley if Daryl Coley is available. And so if he will fight Oscar de la Hoya if he's available. So Trinidad is a great champion. He's ready to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, and he's going to be fighting on Showtime. So it ain't going to be no problem with that. The only fight that he could fight anywhere else would be Oscar de la Hoya. Any other fight is going to be on Showtime. So we're ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble.
Don, good to see you. Happy holidays to you and yours. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.
Happy holidays to all the fans on Showtime and all your friends. And may you have a merry, merry, merry Christmas, and I love you.
And a happy Hanukkah.
And a happy Hanukkah.
And a happy New Year. Back to you, Steve.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Before we move on, we want to Take a look at the most interested spectator in the arena here tonight during our main event is the mom of Bruno Gerard. Morissette looks on at the reaction of the decision. There she is. Oh, no. Well, there it is. She couldn't watch the fight all night long. It was very difficult at first. She's trying to crack a smile. I think combination of the fact that the fight is over and that he's okay, and very proud that he came back, even though he didn't win. In their hearts, he won. And they'll go back to France with that feeling. He did earn a split draw after a very difficult start, a very bloody start, when it looked like Byron Mitchell would put him away easily with a big right hand, but he hung in there and did a great job, showed a lot of heart. All right, now.